I do not like looking at this album cover.
One of my least favorite developments in the modern music industry is the rise of alternate album covers. I'm sure there are a lot of examples of this, but the most prominent ones that I can think of are Ariana Grande, Sabrina Carpenter, and Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift just revealed a new cover for her upcoming album, The Life of a Showgirl, and we need to have an honest conversation. In this video, we're going to look at the new cover, and also I'm going to show you my best and worst album covers of all time. Before we begin, I want to establish what I think makes a good album cover. The artist or group is shown clearly in the frame so we can easily identify who they are. The concept of the album cover fits the theme and sound of the music throughout. Compared to other albums released around the same time, does this album cover represent that year or decade in music? I've already done a video on her new album rollout with her boyfriend Travis Kelce, and you can watch that below. But from the photos she's already shown us of her new era, this is what it looks like. She released these photos taken at what appears to be the album cover shoot with various looks, but ended up landing on this cover. This was such a big moment that companies using their social media changed their profile pictures to have some sort of orange glitter. It became an instant meme overnight, which I believe is a positive thing when it comes to album covers. If something is not good, or if something is very good, the internet can make it a meme, essentially making it very good. That is the metric for something that is successful on the internet. And that's exactly what Taylor Swift achieved with her first album cover rollout. But now, I will be honest, I want a cover from Taylor Swift that doesn't have some sort of text around it. She's done this before, and some of my personal favorite album covers from Taylor Swift was Evermore and Folklore. I don't want a Taylor Swift album cover that looks like anyone else on the internet could make it on Canva. And that's my initial thoughts. And the good thing about Taylor Swift, her music album covers, yes, they are important, but what really carries her is the music on the project. Unfortunately, that is not the case for other people. And moving forward, I would love to see more album covers like Folklore and Evermore. When I see an album cover, I want to be able to be transported to the time that it was created in. When I see the covers like Folklore and Evermore, and even 1989, 1989 is a good album cover because I can go back to 2014 and remember exactly what stuff looked like. I want to see her not be carried by text, and I know that's her style because with Reputation, that's the style, Speak Now. All of her albums have text in it some way, but I do want to start to see a little bit more of a minimal cover. It looks a little bit crafty to me. Even the first one, I thought, okay, maybe it's supposed to look like she's shattered. She's a showgirl, so we will see a little bit of a shattered angle of how she feels when it comes to being super famous. But now I'm starting to see that the theme around the album shows that this is more of a scrap book. Next, we got to talk about the overall meaning of album covers today.
One of my least favorite developments in the modern music industry is the rise of alternate album covers. I'm sure there are a lot of examples of this, but the most prominent ones that I can think of are Ariana Grande, Sabrina Carpenter, and Taylor Swift. I think besides the conversation that can be had around like greed and waste and capitalism and all that stuff, I also think that it dilutes the artistry of picking a album cover
because
itself.
It's supposed to be a statement. You're supposed to, like, this is what people have been doing for decades and decades and decades, is trying to encapsulate the entire body of work with one single image. And we should stick to that because it's a hard thing to do. And if you're in touch with your artistry, then you should have a pretty clear indication of what you want to say visually, and you should allow that to stand on its own.
Ariana Grande releasing 6 album covers for Eternal Sunshine, and none of them felt cohesive to each other. One of them is like this weird teen bop collage of her doing all of these poses. It's like the hear no evil, see no evil, her on the couch. And then you're just sort of like lost in the sauce of like, what is the statement you're making? Mm-hmm. And it's one of the situations where it's like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. In this climate of shrinking attention spans, we are like giving less and less to hold on to.
Well, and I'm literally asking myself, Taylor Swift released all of these things, and I'm like, which one is the cover? I don't even know.
Right.
See, these ladies, they make good points. When someone like an Ariana Grande can make these covers that the three of us are all agreeing that they are not good, the fans will collect them and they will spend their money on them. But, you know, when you're someone like an Ariana Grande and you want to give your fans pickle juice and you may think that it's great, of course they're going to spend their money on it. But they're right. It does dilute the process and it makes me feel as an observer that you are unsure. The Grammys wanted to join in all the fun, so they decided to tell us this.
The Grammys are getting bigger. They just added new categories, including Best Album Cover. The Recording Academy now shining a light on the artwork that's evolved over the years.
Album covers are starting to look like YouTube thumbnails, and I have a huge problem with that. There hasn't really been an album that has made a cultural shift like Charli XCX's Brat. Brat by Charli XCX is a bad album cover. It's so bad that it's good, because whenever you see the color that the album cover is mainly, and when you hear the word brat, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I don't like the color of this album, but it done its job very well. It is very simple. It will always be remembered as an iconic moment in music history. At some point in music, everyone was excited to physically hold an album, to see the cover, whether it was a vinyl or even tapes and CDs. When you saw that piece of artwork, it took you to a place. Before we list my favorite album covers, I want to show you some of the worst album covers I've ever seen since I've been alive. I was born in the late 90s. I only want to use the 90s and onward to really define what is a best album cover for me. Number 5, this is a new one. This is Florence and the Machine from her new album coming out called Everybody Scream. Number 4 is The Life of Pablo by Kanye West. This album cover is intentionally ugly. Number 3, Something to Tell You by Haim. I love Haim, okay? This album cover, I don't like it because it shows low effort. It looks like a selfie. Number 2 is Invasion of Privacy by Cardi B. I do not like looking at this album cover. It's not the ugliest one I've ever seen, but this album cover is very loud. And it is representative of who she is, but it is very loud. It is, in my opinion, so cartoonish that I feel like this album cover makes fun of her. Number 1 is going to have to be Certified Lover Boy by Drake. I do not like this album cover at all. I don't like this album cover because it's emojis. I'm not a big fan of emojis when it comes to using it as artwork. I think emojis should live in the context of where they live, and that's through phones. Unfortunately, there are a lot of albums that are hideous, but I had to keep it to 5 because we will be here all day. Now let's get to what you've been waiting for, and that is my top 5 album covers. Number 5 is going to be Portishead by Portishead. Number 4, it is The Slow Rush by Tame Impala. Number 3 is Graduation by Kanye West. Number 2, Volna Cura by Bjork. Number 1, this is very hard because this artist I love so much and I couldn't really pick. I picked number 1 to be Bad by Michael Jackson. I just like how minimal this is. It's very strong and it really embodies the music that you listen to. That is it. I did have a lot of honorable mentions, but you can tell me what you think in the comment section. Thank you for staying along. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you on the next video.